Hello, this is mootbooxle and welcome to round 3 of the Rhodes Phaser Duel. This time, I'm going to pit the Small Stone, my trusty Small Stone, against a knockoff of the Small Stone, and we're going to see how well it stacks up. If you will remember from the previous 2 shootouts we've done, in my opinion, the Small Stone still reigns supreme, even though the script logo Phase 90 is beautiful in its own right. Still, my phaser of choice for the Rhodes is still the Electro-Harmonix Small Stone. So what we have here next to the Small Stone is the Behringer VP1 Vintage Phaser. This thing is, as you can see, the case design is really similar to the Small Stone. It's basically like the same form factor and everything. But you will find that the build quality is nowhere near as good as this nice US-made Electro-Harmonix unit. Standard 9-volt power supply thing. It's got the same single rate knob, and they call it tone on here. I have a feeling color is maybe a little too close for comfort for the Behringer people. So tone is your color switch, and it works the same. The stomp switch is seems like a soft switch. Actually, I haven't opened this thing up to look at the internals, but I have a feeling this is all a bunch of like surface mount components and really not the same kind of discrete circuitry you're finding in here, although that's just a guess. I have a feeling these things are like way more mass production friendly because the price tag on this thing is $25 last time I checked. I paid $25 for it brand new in the box. And the Small Stone, of course, nice beefy switch, nice beefy knob, just all around great build quality. So you can't tell about the build quality on a record, you know, or even on stage for that matter. I mean, you will know, but your audience is not going to know if the sound is there, and that's the most important thing. So let's find out if the sound is there. What I'm doing differently today is I'm actually running the Rhodes through a direct box. I'm just running it directly into my interface, and so here's the direct tone. Okay, and so here's the Small Stone, kind of a typical setting that I like to use. Okay. So let's hear the Behringer. I'm gonna set it to the same, roughly 2 o'clock, right below 2 o'clock. Oh, it's faster. Yep, folks, this thing has a way more of a sweep range, or a rate range. Before I get to comparing the tone here, let's turn it all the way up and compare how fast it goes compared to... Here's a Small Stone maxed out. Alright, here's the Behringer. It's almost audio rate modulation. I mean, it's way up there. Here is minimum. Here's minimum on the Electro-Harmonix. much the same. This thing goes a little slower. So now I'm gonna put this back kind of where I had it, about 2 o'clock. And let's try to match it. That's pretty close. So this is around 11 o'clock. What? Okay, let's play a little game. Close your eyes, and I'm gonna turn one of these on, and you can tell me which one you think it is. I'm gonna black out the video here, and we'll do a little blind test. So here is the first one. And here is the... You can't tell by the switch because I'm gonna... Okay, here's the second one. One more time. And here is the second one again. And I'm not going to tell you which one is which, but let's have a look at some other settings. You can guess in the comments, and I'll tell you if you're right. That's right, they sound identical. Like, I can hardly tell a difference in the tone between the two, honestly. So let's hear it with the color switch. I'm going to put this back to 12 o'clock and turn the color on. Let's try to match that sound with the Behringer. Let's try this one again. That's really all that needs to be said. This thing has a big wide sweep range. Compare that to the Small Stone. Which honestly, I don't ever see myself needing all that range of modulation, but at least it's there. And I mean, I guess if you really like underwater sounds, it's almost getting into ring mod territory, because you can tell that's like definitely getting into audible frequency range right there. That's probably around 20 hertz or more. So in the final analysis, if you don't really mind slightly less build quality, if you are okay with this more, I mean, it's definitely not a cheapy, you know, it doesn't feel cheap. I mean, it definitely isn't like, you know, I'm not exactly sure. This is some kind of metal, I guess, but it's definitely some kind of cheap. It might be plastic. I don't know. That just looks metal. I can't really tell, to be honest. It feels pretty good. The switch is definitely cheap and it's noisy. But yeah, other than that, if you want the small stone sound and you don't want the small stone price, and you're okay with slightly less quality components, it's probably not going to hold up for as many years as, I mean, lots of people have still got their small stones in use since the 70s, and I don't think this one's going to last 30, 40 years, but if you baby it, maybe it will. But the sound is there. It sounds, for all intents and purposes, identical to the Electro-Harmonix Small Stone. So if you want a $25 Small Stone pedal, the Behringer Vintage Phaser is the ticket. That's all there is to say. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I hope you have a wonderful day or night or whatever it is where you are.